morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're tuning in from. It's your girl, Clara Alexander in the house. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, my packing. I have been trying to pack this house and it has been a task and a half. Like, you just don't realize how much stuff you've actually accumulated over the years, and especially when you're figuring out what do I sell, what do I throw away, what do I give to charity, all that kind of decisions that you've got to make. And after you've done all of that, it still looks like a full house. Yeah. So excuse my background, because my background's full of all stuff that I need to pack away, and I didn't really want to take it off for this live just because I'd have to put it all back in place again. So anyway, so focus on me. Focus on me. So, okay, so what are we about? Basically, I show up because I want to deliver to you godly principles in a very simple way that you can understand and take it on board your life. So that's it in a nutshell. I also own a business called Ultrands, and Ultrands provides products for people that have got fine thinning hair. And we're in the process of creating a new brand, a new line of business called Ultrastrip, and Ultrastrip is going to be for people that just want more volume. It's going to be available via online from 2025. So if you're interested in Ultrastrip and the journey that we're doing that, I generally post videos here on this channel, and you can also subscribe to our waiting list if it's something that you could consider could help you, or if you just want to know how we're getting along and what the progress is. So I'm popping up today for a very short time because I actually need to go and do a live on Ultrastrip in a few minutes. But I had this revelation. And basically, I was asking God, I have been asking God for quite some time about why do marriages fail? Like, why is it that marriages fail? Because if this is something that He's put together, why does it happen that people get divorced? Whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, you know, the divorce rate in this country and also in this world is like spiraling. And why is that? And He said to me, look at this tree. So I bought this tree. This is a olive tree, actually. It's an olive tree. So as you can see, an olive tree that's got some olives on it. So that's why it's an olive tree. Anyway, so look at this tree. It says, what's holding it together? And you know, obviously this tree is in a pot, as you can see. Like, there's a pot there. There's soil here. There's some grass. There's a branch. No, there's, what do you call this thing? There's a trunk with some branches, some leaves. This is what's actually holding this tree together. Why is it bearing fruit? He said. I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a hard question for, you know, a morning session. Oops, a leaf has just fallen. It's not a real tree. Before you start thinking I've killed the plant. It's not a real tree. I'll put it on later. So anyway, so I was like, well, you know, it's in a plant pot. He says, well, actually, it doesn't need to be in a plant pot. It could be outside. It could be outside. So get rid of the plant pot. What's holding it together? I was like, well, could be the soil. He says, well, that's partially. He says, you know, but, you know, if there was no soil, could it still grow? I was like, it might not grow really well, but it could still grow. And basically, after like a to and a fro in, I realized it's the roots. It's the roots, the roots, the roots, the roots. The roots essentially is what takes in the nutrients, passes the nutrients all the way up the tree, gives it so that the leaves can flourish and so that it can bear fruit. And he says that if you cut a leaf off, will it stop the plant from growing? I was like, not necessarily. If you pluck an olive, will it stop the plant from growing? I was like, well, no, because the olives are there to be plucked. So he says, it's not the fruit that gets created that's the issue. He's like, it's the root. He says, if you don't know the root of a thing, then you're not going to know how that thing actually works. And basically, the revelation that I got, are you ready for this? When you get married, regardless of anything, the key thing that holds you together is, drum roll, unity. 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 Because when you're unified in something, you can move mountains. When you're unified in something, you can go places. You can jump from wherever you are to the next level in your life when you are unified. Now, the issue is that we come out of unity. When you get married and you come out of unity, then bad things start happening in your marriage. And an example of you coming out of unity is you have an affair. That is you coming out of unity. That is you coming out of the unity of what the marriage stands for. Or you go into serious debt. That's you coming out of unity. Because the unity of marriage is that you shouldn't be in debt. And if you have an issue or a problem, you work it together. You work it out. But if one person is hiding stuff, so you're like, I don't know, I'm a secret shopper and I literally go and I spend all of my husband's money and he suddenly finds out, suddenly it's like, I'm not in his good books anymore. What happens? Disunity. Disunity is what creates the divorces. You can go and check it out. You can go and look at every single thing from the beginning of time and check to see why has a divorce happened, and you'll realize that it's because there has been disunity somewhere. Disunity in whatever form it is. Disunity because you've kind of treated your wife like a doormat. Disunity because you've lied. Disunity in all these things. That's what happens, and that's why people get divorced. Now, the thing is that, and when you think about it, actually, you go, you know what? It's very simple, right? It's not complicated at all. It's like when two people come together, that's why God says in the Bible, he talks about bringing two people together to become one, because what he's saying is that I've brought you into unity. And as long as you stay like that, nothing can penetrate and nothing can go wrong. Your marriage doesn't mean that you're not going to have trials and tribulations, but as long as you stay unified together in those trials and those tribulations, in those ups and those downs and those sideways, as long as you stay like that, your marriage is going to be sound. But what happens? Things happen in life. I've lost my job. You start to go like that. You start to separate. You start to separate from another person. What happens? I don't know, I've had a death in a family, I don't know how to look at it. You start to separate, you start to come away from the marriage, where God's like, you need to be like this, You may be going through trials and tribulations, but go through trials and tribulations together. Go through trials and tribulations in synchronicity with each other. Hey, did I say that term? Do it together. And this is why communication is so key, because if you're not communicating what you're going through, what's going to happen? Disunity. And the less you communicate, the further you go apart. And eventually, you don't even know where you are anymore. So if you're in a marriage right now and it's struggling and it's difficult and it's hard and you're thinking, how am I going to bring it together? This is it. It's about unity. 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 It's about coming together on those topics, coming together on those issues, coming together on those things that you're not happy about, coming together on how do you parent your kids, coming together on how you look after your health, coming together on how you look after your finances, coming together as to where you live, coming together. Unity. 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 The thing is, in this world, so many things get dropped into your life to create disunity. And and if you're not very careful, you get caught. You get caught out. And suddenly, things start to spiral in the wrong direction. So just as this tree is held together by its roots, if I got rid of the roots, there will be no tree. Simple. If I got rid of the roots of this tree will die in a very short time, because there's no way it's going to be able to get any nutrients to feed it. So there's no point trying to fix the symptoms when you haven't actually fixed the root cause. The root cause is unity. So if you're in disunity right now, you know what to do. And that will work with any kind of relationship, friendships, your work. work relationships, business relationships, all of those things. If there's no unity in it, it cannot stand. It cannot stand. It cannot succeed. So, you know, maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board and look and see, where do we go wrong? What happened? How do we get back onto the same page? How do we get back into being unified together? Because the fact that you're married means at one point you were. Yeah, and get rid of distractions. Distractions are crap. They're no good. But like I said, I'm only coming in for a short time because I have actually got to go and do live teaching. But if you want to join me in the live teaching, then it's just across the way. Just come with me. Anyway, guys, that has been me for today. I just thought I'll come and share because when I heard that revelation, it was like light bulbs, boop, 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 all over the place, going, oh my gosh, Clara, hey, you found something. But yeah, anyway, hope it's helped somebody today. And I'll be back possibly next week for another Hey Clara, I'm live. Take care, guys. Bye.